amicable parting of ways that is not seemingly all that amicable when you go back to the Tom Brady roast, when you go back to Tom Brady night, and then everything that's gone on with the Dynasty. And then Robert Kraft, those comments you just heard, telling about the best decision he made was taking a big risk, in quotes, on Bill Belichick to bring him to the New England Patriots after he quit the New York Football Jets, after he had been promoted to head coach, after Parcells and all that fiasco down there. And it worked out great. We all know history, Dynasty, blah, blah, blah.
He said as much. He said, and then we had him for 24 years, and then we did all right.
Correct.
That was his, funny.
So Robert Kraft said that to Julian Edelman on Julian Edelman's podcast.
Yep.
Now, he did have some details that Bill probably would prefer be left out, like his winning percentage in Cleveland, which is something that's bandied about in the Belichick-Brady debates, Belichick haters, those types of things. The things that Stiz tends to ignore, the facts, I mean. That Robert Kraft brought up a fact, and he said he took a big risk, and he took a lot of heat, because he did. He took a massive amount of heat at the time.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick was borderline toxic, borderline untouchable for most NFL teams, kind of the way he was 2 years ago when he was looking for a job. But Robert Kraft wanted him, and Robert Kraft clearly wanted him when Bill was ascending to the head coaching job in New York, and Bill knew that, and there was a first-round pick involved and all the back and forth between Parcells and Kraft that went on for, I don't know, quarter of a century until now, with Parcells going into the Patriots Hall of Fame. So, okay, Robert said that. I don't know about you. I heard that. I saw that, and it didn't really resonate.
No, I mean, what else is there to choose from? That's the foundational piece of the dynasty of the Patriots. That's pre-Brady. That's pre-anything that we know to be current-day Patriots football.
And so I didn't think it was a shot at anyone. I thought it was a statement of fact. If anything, I think it's a statement of positivity toward Bill Belichick. The best thing I did was go get that guy. And as you said, that predates Tom Brady, because that guy then lucked into Tom Brady, but then developed Tom Brady, and with Tom Brady paired up Dynasty. We're all richer. We're all legends in the football world.
I mean, it's a self-serving comment, yes. Saying that you took a big risk and then it paid off is self-serving for Robert Kraft, but he's the owner of the Patriots, and he was the one asked the question. So what did you expect was going to come out of that?
Is it self-serving if it's true? Like, if you just state a fact, you take a risk, right? I invested in something. I took a risk, and then that thing became Twitter, and I made a boatload of money. It's like, well, yeah, I could have lost all my money, venture capital. Like, people do it all the time. They need one hit to cover up for all their losses.
I mean, it's just reminding you of your resume, which is self-serving in nature, but it's also not inaccurate.
You can also be a little less braggadocious saying it.
That's kind of my point.
Okay, so Stiz, not surprisingly, seems to be trending toward, okay, he may have taken some fault with it. Well, we know one person who did. His name is Bill Belichick. He's the head coach of the University of North Carolina football team. He's a guy that you would think
Go Tar Heels
has better things going on right now than to monitor what is being said in New England and said by Robert Kraft and all of those things. Well, apparently not, because Bill, who we always knew was super sensitive, I'm sure Ted Johnson will back that up when he gets here at 3, and defensive, was never this covert or overt in it. It was more covert in the past, where he would put out his defenses or whatever through people's sources, whatever.
When he had all that power to do that, to delegate his insecurities.
Not anymore, because I was drinking my morning coffee, and I go to ESPN.com, and there's a Don Venata Jr. story, and I'm like, about the Patriots and Bill Belichick? What is this? Bill Belichick pushing back against Robert Kraft, talking about taking a big risk hiring him. In fact, Bill Belichick said to Don Venata in a response to questions, so an interview. Side note, Don Venata, who I used to think was a big J journalist who did investigative journalism about steroids and business and drugs and all these things.
Used to.
Now is writing puff pieces for Bill Belichick to defend the man's honor, apparently.
There it is.
I don't know.
So what did you expect when you saw Don Venata in Patriots? Did you expect a bombshell?
Something.
Yeah.
Something big, worthwhile. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And then I get, quote, as I told Robert multiple times through the years, I took a big risk by taking the New England Patriots head coaching job. I already had an opportunity to be the head coach of the New York Jets, but the ownership situation was unstable. So, Bill, you picked the Patriots. You had one of 32. Like, that's what they always say.
Yeah.
If you get offered one of those, it might not be the perfect situation, but it's one of 32. You had one of 32. And you thought the Patriots with Robert Kraft was a better situation, even though now you're saying you took a big risk. Okay, interesting.
Sure.
Belichick goes on with Venata. who apparently no longer does Big J journalism and just carries water for Bill Belichick. I had been warned by multiple previous Patriots coaches, as well as other members of the other NFL organizations and the media, that the New England job was going to come with many internal obstacles.
That's my first issue. Okay, name them. What's your internal issue?
My guess would be the meddlesome ownership group, because if you're going to say previous coaches, who could that? Oh, wait, you mean Bill Parcells? When you were there with Bill Parcells and Bill Parcells quit because they wouldn't let him shop for the groceries. They just wanted him to make for the meal and the whole thing and the Bobby Greer and that whole feud.
Yeah.
Now, the multiple, if he's a man of his word, which I don't know whether he is or isn't at this point. I'm not even sure if he's a man of his senses at this point and how much Jordan was involved in this. But we'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Let's take this at the surface for what it is. Statement and comments from Bill Belichick.
From Bill himself.
To ESPN.
And just ignoring the 25-year-old fingerprints all over this. Sure.
Correct.
Sure.
The mishaps that seem to have continued endlessly with Bill and Jordan, with Jordan involved.
That's irrelevant to the situation.
I continue to say, for 24 years or whatever the hell it was, Bears Nigerian, who's now working for Bill O'Brien right down the street at Boston College, kept Bill from being in any of these weird debacle situations. Bill no longer has Bears. He has Jordan helping him not only personally but professionally. And it's been a debacle.
Yeah.
So he goes on. I made it clear that we would have to change the way the team was managed to regain the previously attained success. Okay, well, first of all, the previously attained success was never really success. It was go to Super Bowl and lose.
Sure.
That was, and Bill was involved with one of those. The 85 Patriots were involved with those. Ted Johnson was involved with those. But Bill clearly putting his stamp on, I told them I had to change everything, basically, for them to be successful. My way or the highway, which he does kind of massage the facts here, I guess I'll say, because people think the Patriots stunk when Pete Carroll was fired.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll never had a losing season.
Right.
Pete Carroll was a 500 coach in the final season and had a winning record over the course of his career with the Patriots.
Just didn't do the damn thing at the end of the season.
You know who didn't have a winning record in his final season, or even a 500 record in his final season?
Bill Belichick.
That would be Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we go on. Where's the rest of the Belichick quote here, where he says...
did you already do I appreciated Robert giving me the opportunity?
No, where's that? Yeah, you read that.
Okay, I appreciated Robert giving me the opportunity to make those changes and build a program that was consistent with my vision for a championship team. So you took...
Could you get any more eyes, my's, me in there? Like he says, I built the dynasty.
Right.
That's what he just said.
Another reminder that the Patriot way is the Belichick way.
Right.
Like that's what this has meant. By the way, so we've gone from I took a huge risk because of the internal obstacles, ownership, into I appreciated Robert giving me the keys to run the car by myself before I even coached a game here.
Yeah.
That's what we've gone to within the span of 2 paragraphs.
So this measuring contest over the Patriots dynasty continues, and it is embarrassing for the men involved.